Thinking about leaving your soul-sucking 9 to 5 job, one of the biggest struggles I see people, especially as women, face is the idea of having that safety net, that enticing perks and benefits, and listening to that head trash of what will people think if I leave. I totally get it, and I've been where you are. That's why I created a free guide to help you if you're thinking about putting in that notice. It's called Unlocking Your Exit Plan. Discover 5 things you need to do before leaving your 9 to 5. This guide is filled with worksheets and steps so you will have hand holding along the way. You can download your copy in the link in the show notes, and again, it's totally free. Now back to today's episode. Hey, do you want to start a podcast and not sure where to start? Check out my Jumpstart Your Podcast guide here in the show notes. Download today and get started right away on your podcast. I even have a bonus episode that you can follow along. Let's jump on this journey together. Welcome to another episode of the Hello C.S. Dorsey podcast. I have Katie Oldja here. How are you doing today, Katie?
I'm great. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for being on. So could you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yes. So I am a holistic health coach. Basically, I started as a personal trainer and a nutrition coach, but I realized that that just wasn't enough for most people. So I kind of expanded and started working with mindset and also with spirituality as well.
And that's pretty good. So I want to shift a little like I always do.
Yeah.
I never stay on course.
That's okay.
At what point did you say that you was going to shift to help people with mindset?
So I became a personal trainer in college, sort of unofficially. I was training just my friends and stuff because I was really big into CrossFit and things like that. And so my friends were just like, hey, can you teach us how to work out? And so I just started doing that. And I trained a good friend of mine for about a year, just with nutrition and fitness. And the whole time I noticed that it was changing other things about her life. Like her mind was changing, the way she thought about herself, the way she talked about herself, and things like that. And I was like, oh, that's so powerful and interesting. And then when I got certified and, had a job as an in-gym trainer, a lot of my clients would not be able to hit their goals. And I was like, I wonder why that is. And me, just the kind of coaching mind I have, I always just ask questions. And they were always running into, they would get to a certain point and self-sabotage, or they would, always speak negatively about themselves. And so I started diving into the science behind that and just like researching on my own because I'm an avid reader and an avid researcher. And I just started learning the connection between your mind, your body, your spirit, and your body, and just how your belief and your mindset and all of that stuff, it directly impacts your physical body, not just in fitness goals, but in business or in relationships or in all of that. So yeah, it's been a journey, but it's awesome.
I think that's really good because it's like you set a goal for yourself and you want to hit that goal because you can envision it. But if you don't have it correct up here, like in your mind, like healthy wise thing, then like you said, it will be a self-sabotage. I mean, I've made goals to lose weight and everything, but all I could think about was that little chubby girl, and I was like, no, I'm not going to get to where I want to be because all I could think about was that little pudgy chubby girl that people kept calling fat.
That's real. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Even as a coach, like I just got to this point of maybe 3 months ago. I had this underlying belief that my body type wouldn't let me get to where I wanted to get physically. And so, because that's a huge thing, right? Like, certain people are different shapes and all that stuff. That's actually not true. Like you have this normal set weight or whatever, just based on genes. But science is also learning that you can change your genes. So you really are only limited by what you think you're limited by.
That is so true. That's true. And then, like you said, it's true with everything. It's true with anything that you want to do, where you want to go, like in business, health, and even day to day, that's really true. So tell us something about yourself that most people don't know.
Okay. Most people don't know that I am actually an artist as well. So my main thing, I'm all about, spirit, soul, body health and just helping people get their life on track. But I'm also a painter and I actually have an art degree. So, yeah.
So what were you planning on doing with your art degree?
Okay. So I'm basically a completely different person than I was in high school. In high school, I thought, I don't even want to go to school. I just want to, do my thing. Maybe I'll join the Peace Corps. And then I found out you have to have a degree to join the Peace Corps. And so I went to college actually as an student athlete. And I just picked art because I was good at it and I enjoyed it. And I was actually a double major for a while with digital art and fine art. I ended up dropping off my fine art and graduated with like graphic design and stuff. I don't even know. I didn't want to do that. I just finished it. And obviously that wasn't what I was meant to do. So yeah, I don't know. I never really thought things through before. So
and don't feel bad, because generally you don't know what you want to do
yeah,
when you're 18 or when you're coming out of high school.
Nobody
Nobody
really.
knows. No, I have so many friends that graduated with business administration degrees and they wind up becoming a nurse.
Yeah, that's my husband.
Like, it's
Not a
different.
nurse, but yeah.
I mean, it's completely changed, so yeah, it's all about life. You get something for one thing and then you keep going in life and then you start doing something else and then you find doing
Yeah.
something else. So it's a
Yeah.
journey.
Plus, I think you don't really know who you are when you're 18 years old. Like me, I was a mess, we'll just say. But, as I've kind of gone through all of this like belief work, this inner work, working on mindset and health and all that, like I basically became a different person. And so when I became that new person, I was free to be like, okay, what do I actually want out of life? Because it's not really to sit in my house and do graphic design. Like, that's not really what I want. I want to help people and I want to like, help the world change and stuff like that. And so that really kind of freed me to pursue what I wanted to do. So
That's awesome. That is really good to hear. So how can our listeners, for those of you that's listening out there, how can we take action in our business, in our health, or just in life in general? What tips or what advice would you give for those out there that's listening?
oh man, okay, there's so many, but I think the biggest one would be change the way you speak. Because if you change the way that you speak, your brain actually listens to what comes out of your mouth. So one of the most powerful things you say is I am, because whatever you finish that sentence with is what your brain is like, oh, okay, that's what I am. And so it's going to try and make that happen. So if you say, oh, I am overweight, I am ugly, I am terrible at, whatever it is, that's going to become true for you. And I know it sounds like this weird, like spiritual thing, but it's actual science. Like your brain really is listening to your words. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. Change the way you speak about yourself, about your circumstances or capability or whatever. And it really will change your life.
That's true. That's true. They always say you put it out there and put it out there into the, I don't know, I guess to the air, but but it's the truth when you keep saying it over and over again. Like, if you want to be a millionaire, you start acting like it, start thinking like a millionaire, whatever it is that you're trying to become, think like that person, study those people that do those things, do the same things. You haven't gotten there, maybe success financially, but start acting like them and
Absolutely.
you can become them. They always say, like, if you want to get married, you hang around married people. Well, didn't work out for me, but
it will eventually, right? Hopefully.
eventually, but yeah, just start doing whatever it is you want to do and it'll come to you.
Yeah. Basically, when you start speaking like you are something, you'll start acting like you are. And that's really what like manifestation is. It's you just deciding, oh, this is what I want. And because you believe that's what you want, you'll start acting like you've already got it. And if you start living like a healthy person, guess what? You get healthy,
That's true. Yes. So what advice would you give yourself 10 years ago?
Okay, so I would have been 15. Let's see. Probably to start doing that inner work stuff that I started, years later. So I went through kind of a lot of traumatic experiences and just like a rough stuff when I was younger. And one of the things I didn't know until, I started doing this spirit, soul, body health and really diving into beliefs and stuff is that your childhood, what happens to you in childhood is kind of what you build your perception of yourself and the world. So if you go through something, you could basically start believing lies about yourself. Like, I am incapable or I am, whatever it is. For me, I believed that I wasn't worth taking care of. And so even though I had this love of fitness and this love of, health and research, and I would research nutrition, I would always self-sabotage when I got to a certain point because I didn't believe that I was actually worth getting past that point. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, that's the advice I would give myself, is just start diving into those things, even though they're uncomfortable, even though they're not fun. It's totally worth it. It's worth to dive into, because it really will like radically free you from all the stuff, and you can move forward in life.
Yeah, I'm a testament to that. Just starting this year,
Yeah.
I've changed a lot my thinking pattern, and it helps when you do have a coach. I was one of them people, and I think I said on the last podcast that I had, but I was one of them people that was like, I don't need a coach, I don't need that, I don't need this. But then this year I was like, okay, I need help, and I need somebody to hold me accountable on those things. So
Yeah.
I'm an advocate of having an accountability partner or a coach to coach you through those things and to help
Yeah.
you with your mindset. So
Yeah, definitely. At least at the beginning, because I mean, I didn't learn this stuff on my own. You know, I had some really awesome friends who were like telling me all the things. But yeah, I don't think you need a coach for life, but definitely in certain seasons, or just to even like push you past your normal thing, it's definitely helpful.
yeah, it is. So, any last minute advice you have for our listeners out there?
Yeah, just recognize that health is not a one-sided thing. So I like to say that you're a three-legged stool. So if you imagine yourself as a three-legged stool, a lot of people get really good at using one of those legs. So for instance, a business person or a CEO, really good at business. Or, you know, a health coach, usually really good at health. Or somebody who's a mindset coach, really good at mindset. But if you break off one of those legs, like if you are not taking care of your physical body and you're trying to succeed in business, you are going to hit a barrier, whether that's chronic illness or fatigue or whatever it is. So if you're trying to level up in life, if you're trying to move past some barrier, just I would address it from each of those three areas: your spirit or your beliefs, your identity, your mindset, and your physical body.
I'm a note taker.
No, you're good.
I always say notes because I try to apply
That's good.
anything that, all my guests say, I try to apply to myself as well. So you have a promotion on here. You have the mentor program. It's the Warrior Academy. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes. Yeah. So that's my one-on-one coaching program. It was 12 weeks, but I expanded it to 16 weeks. So basically in that we do a personalized fitness program, personalized nutrition program, because I really believe that discipline is the foundation for succeeding at everything. And then we also do weekly one-on-one calls where we'll dive into your personal values and helping you set up your vision. We dive into your belief systems. Sometimes we dive into like childhood stuff if something is holding you back, and we kind of break through those subconscious barriers. Yeah, it's really awesome. It's basically a step-by-step way to get unstuck and to level up in life. And my goal with it is to set you up so that you don't need a coach in the future. So you can be self-sufficient.
I love that part.
Yeah. Because I don't want you to have to depend on me for the rest of your life. Like, I want you to be self-sufficient, So that's my goal, is to give you all the tools, walk you through them, and then you can go off and be confident and amazing on your own.
That's good, because we need something to help us when no one is around, like,
Yeah.
throughout our life.
Yes, you should be able to say, oh, why am I emotionally reacting this way? And then be able to like work through it on your own without having to talk to somebody else,
Yeah, that's really good that you do that. We would definitely need coaches that can help us. Well, I don't know if all coaches do, but we definitely need coaches that help us for the now, the yesterday, the present, and the future.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree. That's awesome.
Yeah. So where can everyone find you?
Okay, so my website is having tech issues, but normally it's highlife.org. I'm working, it should be up in like a couple of days back up. Or you can just find me on Instagram. I'm always on Instagram at Living the High Life. So high is spelled H-A-I. I have a free group on Facebook as well. You can also find my business page on Facebook, which is just High Life Health and Wellness. I feel like I'm everywhere.
No worries. We'll have that in the link those in the show notes when this episode goes live.
Awesome.
So thank you so much for coming on and helping us with things that we can basically start doing, and mindset and everything. And I love the work that you're doing. Like I stated before, I don't think that there's very many coaches that is helping others to do this in the future by themselves. I can't speak for all coaches, but to have that little extra piece and have those tools to carry on, I think that's really good. So yeah, it's really amazing.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me.
Hey, did you like this episode? And don't forget to subscribe and share. And also drop me a line or two. I will love to hear your feedback in the review. Thank you.